Good day there, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Try New Things, where today we're back down at the garden. It is the first weekend of August, and even though I intend on doing a wrap-up video at the end of the season to show you how the garden did overall, I thought I'd give you kind of a midpoint update, and this is it. So I started the video a few weeks ago. You'll see that right after this introduction, and I'm going to wrap it up today, here again at the beginning of August. Back down to the garden today, and it is the very end of June. This Friday is going to be Independence Day. We're going to have a nice long weekend coming up, but I got a lot of work to do here in the garden. You can see behind me, my potatoes are still here. So my plan is this morning before it rains to harvest those potatoes. I've also harvested a number of my onions, and they are currently up in the barn drying at the moment. I'm going to pick some more onions today as well. Last time I gave you an update, you saw this end of the garden, which was doing very well, and then this end of my garden that wasn't doing so well. So I dug up the potatoes I had, got about 17 pounds of potatoes, which is not a good haul for 2 rows about 30 feet long. Harvested the rest of my peas, which did fantastic, and took up the rest of the onions. You can see the sweet potatoes are starting to come along. But what did I do to fix the issue with the soil at this end? Well, I brought in another 7 yards of topsoil, and on my father's advice, some lime. So I mixed in some lime, the new topsoil, tilled it, and crossed my fingers. So we'll see, because I'm getting ready to replant that. But back here, like I said, we're going to take up the rest of the potatoes. Some more of the onions, I believe, are ready. So I may harvest a few more onions today. Down at that end, they're not so much. My peppers are doing really good. So here you can see a green pepper growing, especially the cayennes. I'm going to have so many cayenne peppers, it's going to be fantastic. But let me show you a bunch of green cayennes. Some starting to turn red there at the bottom. Those are doing good. Picked my first 2 tomatoes as well. So the tomatoes have recovered well. You can see some tomatoes, hopefully, ripening over there. And we've already picked, I think, 3 pounds of cucumbers. So the cucumbers are coming along quite good. Walk down here to the raised garden bed area. So the cucumbers are now about 6 feet, 7 feet up the trellis in some places. I don't know if I've got any more coming immediately at the moment. Yeah, there's a little cucumber in there growing. I also planted those green beans around the bottom. They're doing good. I haven't picked any beans from here yet. But yeah, cucumbers are doing fantastic. Down here in the middle garden, tore up the rest of the peas. What a banner year for peas. I think by the end of it, we had 9 pounds of shelled peas. My green beans that turned yellow right at the beginning, tore them out. Did the same thing down here in this part of the garden. I put down some lime, some more topsoil, and crossed my fingers. And the onions I took from the upper garden, on the end that wasn't producing well, I transplanted down here. Now whether they catch on and grow, I have serious doubts about that. And then did salvage a few green beans right here at the end. So left them be. And we already picked a couple pounds of green beans. But what I'm most excited about for recent change is down here in the completely covered garden. So not every single hole has a live plant in it. I'm going to have to come down here and replant a couple melons and a couple more pumpkins. But the growth has been fantastic this week. Really got some things starting to pop. Zucchinis down there along the far end are in blossom. Whatever these were, I can't remember, some kind of melon. They are all in blossom as well. And down here is the last things I planted, which were these pumpkins. And they're coming along pretty good, except for one there, and one there I've got to replant. So this morning before it rains, what I'm going to do is tear out all those potato plants, dig up all the potatoes, some of the onions, get back in there, put the tiller on, till it up, get ready to replant later this weekend or over the long weekend. Yeah, that's what we got going on here at the very end of June at the TNT Gardens. So, I'll check back in with you in a few minutes. Well, it'll be a couple seconds for you. Probably an hour for me while I tear out all those old potato plants. So the process of pulling up the potato plants and the weeds has unearthed a few of the potatoes. So we'll pick them up first. Here's the pile. And then we'll come back, roll back this weed fabric the rest of the way, and then get our mid-buster out and dig up the rest of these potatoes. So you got to get the depth just right, but there you go. That's how much easier it is to pick your potatoes. I just got to come along and scoop them up. There's a look at the mid-buster I used to do my potatoes. And if we come around the front, here's the potatoes we got today. Not a ton, but a bunch. It is now the July 4th weekend, and we got some beautiful rain the last 2 days. But the weekend's supposed to be warm, sunny, and beautiful. So I was just right on my timing to get all this tilled, hilled, and planted. And we've gone ahead and planted a number of things. We planted some carrots, some beets, some peas, some beans. What else have we planted? We planted some sunflowers, some edamame, and some okra. But time to start letting things grow once again, and then we'll check back in with you. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Try New Things. For today, we're back down here at the garden. It is the first weekend in August, and what I thought I would do is give you a garden update on how we're doing. Now, I do intend on doing a wrap-up video at the end of the season, let you know how we made out throughout the year. This is kind of the midpoint one at this point. We're well into our second crop for most things, and I just want to show you how we're doing. So we're going to start here at one end of the upper garden. See, I've got my little tiller here today. I'll show you why I've got that in a sec. Right here in the corner, I've got some Mongolian sunflowers that I planted. Planted about 10, looks like 5 survived here. I've got more further on down there. Again, I got about 50% success rate. Just planted some peppers here. So another round of peppers. And I transplanted a couple tomatoes that are looking pretty pathetic. But we'll give them a few days, see if they perk up. And then here is some new cucumbers that are just starting as well. Now if I look down to the other end of the garden, you can see on our left here, the beans are just starting to blossom. And then when we get down here far enough, you'll see the second row of beans. So soon we're going to have lots of green beans to pick. And this is the area that I had very bad success with both the potatoes and the onions I was growing. And I came in, put in some more topsoil and some lime. And these green beans, even though it's been 95 to 100 degrees, are looking pretty healthy. So whatever it was, I think we helped it out. And then there's some more of those Mongolian sunflowers. That one there is probably 7.5 feet tall. Just starting to form the heads on them. And if we go over to the next two rows, what we've got here is some beets. Some places growing better than others, but what I noticed this morning is a lot of the spots where I thought nothing had taken, the beets are starting to grow. And here in the last two rows are the sweet potatoes. Now, because these were already planted, I didn't get a chance to put any new topsoil here. Did try to sprinkle a little bit of lime. These 4 rows are the ones that got the new topsoil and the lime and are doing much better. So once the season is over, I'll come back in, I'll till and blend all this in. Hopefully I can cure this for next season. Just show you real quick too, the weed prevention fabric that I put down is doing really good. Now, the first time I put it down, I was very careful and I put in all the landscape pins and whatnot. And then I had to peel it all back to re-till it and to harvest my potatoes, that kind of thing. And when I put it back out, I just unrolled it and never put a pin in it. And it's staying in place quite well. Not quite as spread out as it, could be if I really worked on it. But for the lazy way, it's working really good at keeping the weeds out of the middle of my rows. But let's go down towards the other end now. Now here, about a third of the way down, you can see the sweet potatoes are starting to do really good. Anxious to see how we do on sweet potatoes this year. And then I've got more beets. Got to come back and thin those out. And then this row, I really haven't planted anything in it. So that's why I've got the little tiller today, is I want to peel back again the weed fabric and till that row and get ready to plant something new. This row here, all you can see is weeds and a couple carrots. But this was my first and second attempt at growing carrots here, and they really didn't take off either time. We'll get to carrots more in a little bit. But if I come down amongst the weeds, you'll see the odd carrot. But I think I'm just going to till this and replant it. And then right here, ever since I harvested the onions, I've been growing nothing but crabgrass. And I came in here with the trimmer the other day and trimmed that grass down. So we're going to till that row, get ready to replant. And then the peppers are doing really good this year. Just got done picking a really nice red bell pepper. Then we get into our habaneros. Might be able to see some nice orange habaneros in there. Jalapenos, cayennes. Behind those are the tomatoes. This trellis was cucumbers. That's all done. Just got done replanting that. And that's about all I can say about the upper garden. Again, got the tiller in here so we can replant some more rows. I may wait a few weeks and do peas again when it starts to get a little cooler. I'd also like to plant a little bit more cucumbers. But yeah, we've got the tiller. And then here in the raised garden bed area, where the cucumber trellis is, my cucumbers have been suffering from the heat quite a bit. I just got done planting new seeds. I hope they come through. And then I can take out these old cucumber plants and let the new ones grow up through. But I'm still getting some cucumbers. A nice English cucumber there growing. So we still got lots of little cucumbers starting, but the plant is looking a little worse for wear with all the heat we've had, so that's why I planted some new seeds. And then the strawberries, nothing since this spring. My flower bed's doing really good. So there's the flowers I planted. And the blueberries, we got a few blueberries off that. My rhubarb's gone to seed. And my herbs are not great. And that brings us to an overlook of the middle garden. So we got 3 rows in the middle garden. I'll take you down there and show you what's working and what's not working. So here in the middle garden, what we've got starting are carrots. My 3rd attempt at carrots, and they're finally taking. So I've got essentially 3 rows of carrots down until you get to the corn. Then I started some corn very late in the season, and I bought this dwarf corn. It's supposed to be dwarf sweet corn, and the tassels are already starting to come, but the corn is only about 2.5 feet tall. So when they say dwarf, they mean it. But you can see the tassels there. And got some interwoven beans planted as well. Down here we've got our okra, which is starting to take. Anxious to see what that's going to be like. Not sure if we're going to like it or not. And then I've been trying peas. I got a couple peas starting. But every time I plant peas, something comes in somehow and picks individual peas out of the ground. So again, I just got done replanting the peas here. And if you look close, you may be able to see some holes. It's because something's gone in there and picked out and ate the pea. So that's not good. And then lastly, we've got the lower garden, and everything is taken off. Except for my zucchinis, they're really not doing great. Here we've got some pumpkins starting. Maybe I can get in there and show you a pumpkin. This zucchini's doing okay. Should have a couple zucchinis on here by tomorrow or the next day again. Down there, the zucchinis are looking sad. But in there, we've got all kinds of melons and cantaloupes and squashes coming. We've eaten a couple of the cantaloupes already, and they were absolutely delicious. Can't wait to try one of the watermelon. My challenge is I don't know when to pick them. I don't know when it's ripe or not yet ripe, and I don't want to pick them too soon. We got some spaghetti squash, some butternut squash, some acorn squash, some mango melons. And over in there are a couple decent sized watermelons coming. So that's about it. That's how we're faring in this first weekend in August. So far, I think we've picked just shy of 250 pounds of vegetables. I don't know if I'm ahead or behind last year or not yet. Last year's numbers were definitely influenced by a lot of zucchini, and I'm not getting a lot of zucchini this year, and a lot of pumpkins, which we don't have our pumpkins yet. But we did outperform on onions and potatoes over last year. And hopefully we outperform last year's number on sweet potatoes as well, but we won't know that until early fall. So that's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up right here for our mid-season garden update at T&T Farms. If you could, in the comments, let me know where you're from, where you're watching from, and let me know how your garden season's going. What have been your biggest challenges so far? I have had plenty. From the soil in the upper garden and middle garden, to my beans turning green, to something stealing my peas, my carrots. Fortunately, cross my fingers they don't die. I'm finally going to have some carrots. But yeah, let me know how your garden season's going. I'd love to hear it. And if you got a channel, leave that in the comments below as well, and I'll check it out. But if you got any questions or comments, don't forget to write below. Before you head out, give this a big thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. So now we're going to take a quick break to thank this week's sponsor. And this week's sponsor, like every week's sponsor, is me, Chris Gladstone with T&T Try New Things, where I have started a new website link Partnering with Buy Me a Coffee is an opportunity for you to check out some of the items I have for sale that you have probably watched the videos on me making. It's also an opportunity to sponsor the channel directly, either through buying me a coffee, or if you're feeling particularly generous, signing up for an annual membership. With that, I'm going to go back to the video.